Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video. I hope you like the brand new intro. The past week or so I've been messing around with kind of my setup in terms of lighting, in terms of my video quality, in terms of the brand new intro, which is a kind of amalgamation of my old intro I used to do a long time ago. So I hope you guys really like that. I kind of realized recently that my kind of camcorder that I've had for many years is really out of date and doesn't quite give that extra HD punch that kind of most videos on YouTube have now. So I've decided to use my camera, of all things. So yes, you're currently watching it on my camera phone at the moment. I've got a nice setup for it, and it seems to be producing much more high grade HD quality picture, which is fantastic. That's exactly what I need. So this is going to be a 4K collection video. This probably will be a part 1, part 2. I'll give you guys a bit more insight into the ones I own. I'm going to go shelf by shelf. I think that makes more sense for me to kind of get through it. Give you guys a bit more insight into the 4Ks I own, which ones are like the essential you have to buy if you're going to buy a 4K player, which ones you want to upgrade. Give you guys a bit more insight into the ones that I own. Basically, I got into 4K about a year ago now. I got a multi-region 4K player for my amazing girlfriend, which is fantastic. I love it. It plays all my kind of Region A locked kind of Blu-rays from a Criterion Screen Factory and plays 4K. And the best thing, I got a 65-inch TV and they look phenomenal. So let's begin, guys. This is from my kind of first kind of shelf. I kind of order my films very differently from most people. I order mine by kind of genre and story. I know everybody goes to classic ABC. Some people do studio lineups. I have my own way of ordering my collection. Not everyone's going to agree upon it, but this is the way I do it. So this is from my first shelf, kind of my sci-fi-ish kind of box sets. So yeah, a bit of a stack here. I'm going to give you guys a bit of a, there you go, give you an idea. Okay, first up we have is the SciFi exclusive 4K still for Fifth Element. This is a really nice edition, recently been released. Features the 4K disc and the 4K transfer on the Blu-ray. There is a separate release for Studio Canal for the 4K transfer. Definitely better than the old UK version we've had for quite some years now, definitely with the upgrade. So if you don't own a 4K player, you can get that as a separate release, just the Blu-ray, or get the 4K double pack separate release, which features both on 4K transfers, which is really good. I think it's only an extra like £10 potentially. Really nice edition from SciFi. I'm going to show you the artwork there. There you go. Yeah, it's been out in the US, I think, for a couple of years now. UK's recently just catched up and released the edition finally in the UK. This is definitely a good upgrade. I've kind of noticed watching 4Ks, especially sci-fi movies on 4Ks, anything to do with visual effects, anything to do with space. It looks fantastic, it's really good on the TV. This is definitely a good transfer, good upgrade from the old UK version we've had. Looks really nice on the TV, definitely worth the upgrade, definitely worth the purchase for sure. Fifth Element on 4K. There's They Live, John Carpenter's They Live, what a film on 4K from the Studio Canal, which are recently killing it with their kind of 4K transfers. There are at least 4 John Carpenter movies. This is the best one, I think, out of his kind of collection. Definitely pops a lot stronger compared to some of the others. 80s and 90s movies always gonna get the benefit on 4K, being the brand new transfers, remasters from the original negatives. This looks really good on the TV. I think the Blu-ray itself is got a 4K transfer on there as well, which looks really nice. I did previously own that, so if you do own that, definitely worth keeping hold of that. But if you want the extra boost, a tiny bit more boost, the 4K is definitely worth going for. Definitely a good one to get for sure. It's packed full of extras from the Screen Factory release as well. Yeah, They Live on 4K. Next up we have AD Asher on 4K, a really good 4K kind of experience to get for sure, much more of a modern film. Really underrated film. Not a lot of people really like this film for some reason. It's very mixed opinions. Perfectly good sci-fi space drama. Brad Pitt was really good in this film. The 4K transfer looks really nice. Of course, anything to do with space. The black colours and kind of in visual effects wise, look brilliant. The whole moon sequence on this, I think there's a bit at the back there for it. It looks fantastic on the TV. Very visually pleasing movie, especially on the 4K. Definitely worth upgrading. Only if you want the kind of the 4K kind of experience, you want to test out your TV, test out the 4K. Definitely a good one to get a hold of. But if you've got the Blu-ray, it's still perfectly enjoyable as well, still perfectly watchable. Note to self, when your battery on your phone is very low, do charge it, Andrew. Much apologise there, guys. My phone battery did die, so I've had to kind of redo this video again the next day. So I'm going to continue straight up and just keep going with this video. Starship Troopers 20th Anniversary Edition on 4K. This is a region 3 set from the US. Typically, Universal, kind of Sony, Paramount type movies on 4K tend to be region free. I would recommend to go check it out beforehand, just in case you haven't got a multi-region player. This is a definite must-own 4K. Starship Troopers has always been a very visually pleasing movie. It's always looked good on DVD, on Blu-ray. But the 4K on this is night and day compared to the old transfer we've had in the UK. Looks really nice, really stellar on the 4K. Just gives it that extra boost, which I really do appreciate, to be honest. I think this is approved by the director as well. They're also releasing Total Recall on 4K later in the year, also approved by the director, and I think Basic Instinct as well. So all of his lineup again 4K treatments, but Starship Troopers is one of the best ones to get for sure. Absolutely must get on 4K. I do own the UK Steelbook as well, which I keep the 4K disc inside because I think it's just a nicer edition. Not a big fan of the kind of thin spines on these ones. So I keep the 4K in this. It's just a little nicer on the shelf. So yeah, Starship Troopers on 4K is a must-own for sure. Annihilation on 4K. This is a really good, visually striking movie. Not for everyone's taste, I would say. This came out on Netflix. It was meant to have a cinema release. I think it is Universal Paramount. It is a Paramount film. If you're going to get this film, I would definitely recommend this on 4K. It looks really nice, very visually pleasing. There's a lot of bright colours. The high dynamic range on this is really stunning in terms of the bright, wider colours on this edition. So you're definitely going to get your money's worth. Annihilation on 4K. Cloverfield double pack on 4K. This is 10 Cloverfield Lane and the first Cloverfield movie on 4K. Got this at a really cheap price at CX for about £10. This is definitely a good upgrade to get for sure. You're definitely going to see a bit of a difference in terms of quality from the Blu-ray to the 4K. This high dynamic range feature on both movies definitely gives it that extra oomph in terms of its kind of deeper colours and deeper kind of like, look. Any kind of films that's at night time, interestingly, that has some kind of lighting, specific type of lighting in it, like the Cloverfield film does, like being a found footage movie, really makes it pop a little bit more on the screen, being there's a kind of few very specific explosions in terms of action type moments in the film. Really makes it look really nice. Cloverfield 1 on 4K definitely is a good visual stunner, I think, for sure. It looks really nice. And 10 Cloverfield Lane, of course, looks really nice as well. I think this one is a bit more impressive than the 10 Cloverfield Lane one, if I'm being honest. But both are definitely worth the upgrade for sure. And the good thing is also, if you don't own a 4K player and you do want to get them on 4K eventually, the Blu-rays are very good as well. They do look really nice on the TV. Definitely a good one to get. Oh, by the way, this is a Steelbook edition I've got of 10 Cloverfield Lane HMV exclusive. It's got the 4K disc inside there with the Blu-ray. And of course, the regular Blu-ray and 4K for Cloverfield is in this pack as well. Really nice edition from Paramount. Really cheap as well going. Definitely worth picking up, guys, if you don't own it. And continuing the Paramount lineup on 4K, apparently, we have Tom Cruise War of the Worlds on 4K finally. This is a recent purchase in the past couple of weeks or so. They've done kind of a lineup recently of all Tom Cruise movies like Days of Thunder, I think Top Gun, this, and I think there's another film as well, I can't remember what it was. This is a really good film on 4K, this looks really nice. There's an instant one that I wanted to pick up and upgrade. The Blu-ray previously for it was still very good, don't get me wrong. You can tell there's a better transfer that could be done with that film, and they definitely gave it that extra level of quality that I really wanted to see. The high dynamic range in this is really stunning, definitely for sure, and it still keeps true to the cinematography, so it keeps true to the grain and the look of what Steven Spielberg wanted for the film. This is definitely a good visually pleasing movie for sure on 4K. Really good survival, just get to point A to point B, surviving people and aliens and all sorts of going on in this film. Very good 4K release for War of the Worlds. Next is Predator Trilogy on 4K. This is a bit of a mixed match of editions. This is the kind of outer casing that I got a long time ago for the regular Blu-ray editions, which looks really nice on Blu-ray. It's got inside my Steelbooks, which are different kind of throughout the years I've had. So we've had Predators, which is a Play.com exclusive Steelbook, features the Blu-ray and DVD, one of the very first Blu-rays I've ever owned. We have is the Amazon exclusive Predator 2 on Steelbook, and we have the German import Blu-ray as well for the Ultimate Hunter edition. So 3 very different types of Steelbook editions for Predator movies. I really like all 3. They're really good, and I've got the 4K discs inside all of them. I did have the UK Predator box set, the very small 1 to 3. I just kind of took the 4K discs out of that and placed them in these Steelbooks because I just like them a little bit more. So as you can see there, 4K disc. For sure. The actual 4K box set for Predator is actually going for a really cheap price, about £20 in the UK, but individually they're about £15. So kind of do the math there. It's kind of definitely worth getting the trilogy pack. Only the first one is true 4K and the better transfer. Predator 1 has gone through a range of different kind of like, you know, levels of transfers and different editions over the years, from DVD to the very awful early Blu-ray, then the Hunter edition, which is one of the ones I've got, which is definitely better but not amazing, and then the 4K has gone back to the kind of the original negative and restored some of that grain back in, restored some of that kind of natural approach. I think it comes down to what the look of the film you like. The Hunter edition is a lot more softer in terms of the presentation of the film, in terms of the skin colors, in terms of the action, where the 4K is going back onto its true roots in terms of adding that grain back in, definitely giving that extra boost in terms of color and range and in the forest and the night scenes and the action. I think it just comes down to what you enjoy the most about seeing the film in terms of its presentation. Predator 2 and 3 are 4K upscales. They're not true 4Ks, but they do look really good, to be honest. They definitely look a lot better than the Blu-ray for sure. Predator 2 and Predators look really nice on the 4K for sure, but they're not like essential must-buys. Only the first Predator movie. So yeah, Predators on 4K. And last up we have is Matrix Trilogy on 4K, an absolute essential, must-own, must-buy. Go on Amazon right now, go and purchase it. This is probably one of the best 4Ks I have in my entire collection. If there was going to be a top 10, this would definitely be on it in terms of like giving you your money's worth. The 4K look of the films, of all three films, look absolutely phenomenal. They look absolutely incredible. They've done a really amazing job of going back, restoring these films to their original negatives, improving the visual effects. Not 100%, there's certain things in that second film that you can't improve upon, just down to the fact it's, you know, it's down to the time, but everything looks nice and crisper and sharper, and the colors look fantastic. The slow-mo, the action scenes, the look of the film, the style of the film, everything just pops on screen, and I could not be more happy in getting this. And the best thing as well, if you don't own a 4K player but you want the 4K transfers, they're unavailable on the Blu-ray itself, exclusive on this edition. This is far better than the original set that I used to own on Blu-ray. I thought they look pretty good. This, like, it's another night and day scenario here for sure. It's packed full of extras from the original releases, from all the previous ones. You're not losing anything. I did actually see the 4K transfer, the anniversary edition of The Matrix 1 in cinemas, I think start of the year, and it looked really, really good on the cinemas. This looks fantastic on the television set. I'm just going to quickly show you guys the, there you go, nice little out book there, looks really nice. Just give you a show there, there you go. And you get all three films on 4K, which absolutely phenomenal, look really, really good on the TV. Matrix Trilogy I've always really liked. I like all three. I think a lot of people give criticisms compared to 2 and 3. I mean, it's debatable, to be honest. I think many people just kind of watch it once and they kind of don't look back on it. I think a second viewing is always good. Watching them as a trilogy is always good, and just kind of understanding what 2 and 3 are trying to add to the trilogy. It's down to opinion based, I guess, but I really like all three films. Hoping the fourth one is going to be good. I don't know. Do we need a fourth one? I don't know about that. But as it stands, the trilogy never looked better on 4K. And the best thing is, if you don't like 2 and 3, you can get the first one as a separate release, solo release on 4K as well. Thanks guys for watching part 1 of my 4K collection. Part 2 is on the way soon. If you guys want to know any information about these editions, comment down below. I'll give you some more insight into the films. Or if you want to see an actual like 4K kind of review, Blu-ray review, I can give more insight into that way, in that sense. So stay tuned for the next video, guys. For the meantime, this is Amphlett Reviews, signing out.